you ever got into an argument with someone that just kept getting bigger and bigger and more people joined in and then everyone was shouting and yelling at one another? How did that make you feel? And how did the argument finally end? Was everyone happy? Or was no one happy? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Today's episode is a story from the Marshall Islands. They are located in the Western Pacific Ocean. And this is a story about a very big argument between a whale and a sandpiper. That's a type of bird that lives by the sea. And this argument kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until... Well, let's just listen and find out, shall we? But before we do so, a big thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We really appreciate your support. Remember, you can become a Patreon subscriber today and start enjoying our weekly colouring sheets that accompany each episode. Find out more at www.journeywithstory.com. Now, let's take a journey with the whales and the sandpipers. One day, a great whale said to a little sandpiper,
"There are many more whales than sandpipers in the world."
"Not at all," said the sandpiper. "There are many more sandpipers."
"More whales,"
said the whale. "More sandpipers," said the sandpiper. They argued a long time about it. Finally, the whale began to sing and chant, sing and chant. The chant was, first, some blowing sounds, as he blew water and air high into the sky. Then the words of the chant called all the whales to come fast, fast through the water. All the whales came from the east, pushing up high waves. The great whale sang again. Then all the whales came from the west, and the great whale kept on singing. Then all the whales came from the north and south. At last, all the whales of the ocean were there, splashing and blowing, pushing the waters of the ocean up to the sky.
"Did you see?"
said the great whale.
"I told you there were more whales than sandpipers."
"Just wait," said the little sandpiper. He began to chant and sing, chant and sing. The chant was, first, some cheeping, chirping sounds. Then the words called all the sandpipers in the world. "Come quick! If I didn't have the eagle to protect me, I would be killed. Come, sandpipers, oh!" First, all the sandpipers flew in from the east, and their wings flapped until a high wind was blowing. The little sandpiper kept on chanting and singing, chanting and singing. Then all the sandpipers came from the west, from the north and the south, until the whole sky was dark. "Do you see?" said the little sandpiper. "I told you there were more sandpipers than whales."
"Just wait,"
said the great whale. He began to sing and chant, calling all the sharks in the ocean. The shark heard the song. Soon all the sharks came from the east. The great whale kept on singing and chanting, and all the sharks came from the west, from the north, and from the south, until the ocean was covered with their high fin sails.
"Look, look,"
cried the great whale.
"There are many more whales than sandpipers."
"Just wait," said the little sandpiper. He began to chant and sing, calling all the cranes in the world. The crane heard the song. Soon all the cranes came from the east. Then they came flying from the west, the north, and the south, until the noise was like thunder. "Look, look!" cried the little Sandpiper. "There are many more sandpipers than whales." The great whale and the little Sandpiper kept on calling the fish and the birds with their singing. The tuna heard it. By and by all the tunas in the world came swimming from the east, the west, the north and the south. The great whale called to all the other sea creatures, and the little Sandpiper called to all the other birds, and they all came by millions. And so it went, the great whale singing and chanting, and the little Sandpiper chanting and singing, until all the fishes and all the birds in the world were called together. The noise could be heard high in the sky and over all the land and the sea, and still no one knew whether there were more whales than sandpipers in the world, or more sandpipers than whales. The fish asked the great whale, "What shall we do now?"
"Let's eat up all the land so that the birds will die,
he said. And so they began to eat the land. The birds asked the little Sandpiper, "What shall we do now?" "Let's drink up the whole ocean so the fish will die, he said. And they began to drink the ocean. It took much more time to eat the land than to swallow the water. The birds finished first. They drank up the whole ocean before the fish had a chance to eat much land. Then, with no water to live in, all the fish died. That is, all except the whale. He had a big belly full of water. He could live a whole day on dry land. The whale lay on the dry ocean bottom for a while. Then he spit out the water that he carried. It made a great pool, but not a whole ocean. The seabirds began to worry, for they ate fish for food. "We need to have fish," they said. So the birds spit out all the water they had swallowed and made the ocean again. One by one, the fish became alive and swam around as well as ever. Then all the fish and all the birds swam and flew back to their homes in the east, the west, the north, the south. Everything was just the same as before. No one knew whether there were more whales or sandpipers in the world. So, what do you think this story's souvenir is? What little nugget of truth or wisdom does it leave us with? Yes, I think it definitely has to do with don't let yourselves get so caught up in a silly argument that you end up destroying what you love most, like these fish and these birds did. But luckily they came to their senses just in time, didn't they? But next time you get into an argument, maybe you'll remember this story and take time to think about a way to make peace and not more arguments. Peace, my friends, peace. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.